GarageDNA, and today we are installing electric power boards to a 2024 facelift 79 series Land Cruiser. This is the kit we got here. I believe they're around 1,800 bucks for the kit, and they're full electronic with LED setup underneath. That's the guide there, ClearView power boards. So we're going to rip into it and get this done. We'll film a full video on it for install and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've removed all the trim panels from the door sills, both sides, fronts, and the kick panel up in there. These are the new power boards. They do have an LED underneath. It came with a full ECU wiring loom. It even gave us a cable feeder to get into the engine bay for the battery connection. All your fixings are there. Instruction booklet. We have the mounting brackets here and two motors, one for each side. So there's three brackets in total, 3 per side. Looks like a pretty decent kit. Okay, so step one, we're going to remove these trim panels. You pry this up and it's just clipped in. Remove that piece there. And the second piece here is the kick panel there. There's a Phillips head nut at the back there, which is that there. And then this piece slides off backwards there, and then you can gain access to all that. Okay, so we just got the power feed to the battery through the firewall. That's got a little lug on it. It does have a little fuse connection there. So how we got through that firewall, I just used a coat hanger, and it did come with a little snake cable feeder. Now the firewall had a spare little grommet entry point just down in there. Hopefully you can see that. Had a spare little access point on that firewall grommet just there. So we went through that, pulled that through, and we're just going to zip tie it to this loom here like that, all the way around to the battery terminal there. And that gives us a power feed into the glove box compartment here. Okay, so we've got the wiring loom sitting here on the passenger side, and we have used a tongue to feed up under the dash there to feed the front right and rear right cables, so we can run them through the kick panels to the door sensors on the driver's side. Okay, so we're just running the wiring loom to the door sensors. We've got that cable there all the way through to the driver's side. We're going to run it through the trim kick panels to each door sensor. One there and obviously one there. I've prepared the other side, so I'll just show you guys what that looks like. And the instruction booklet here, that is the loom there, one power to the battery, and then the door sensor cables there. So flip that over. They're the plugs there, and run through the trim panels there. So this one here, we've got the cable loom coming through there. Pulled the carpet up under that trim piece there. Got the loom to here. Pulled off that sensor. It's just a 10mm nut there underneath that grommet. That's the door sensor switch. Got the cables there. Now the plug is just that one there and behind, so the fuse and the cables just inline plug into that. And then we do have the back cable ran through that trim piece there, all the way up here, door sensors there, and it just plugs in behind there in line. Step. Okay, we're up to the next step. I've laid out the wiring harness and the ECU module, plugged in those two adapters there. We have connected the active power feed that goes through the firewall to the battery, and I have put a ground on that bolt just there. Then I'm going to run out these power feeds and follow the steps. And then Rick is doing the brackets underneath the sills. So I've put a tongue in through behind there and got the motor feed to the driver's side, and the passenger side one is just here, which will go through the floor well grommet there and zip tie along the sill to the motor. That's going to go in the central middle position, and to do that I had to pop the grommet out just there, put a slot in it with a knife and feed that through that hole there. Got the two cables there, one for the LED, one for the motor for the driver's side, and I'll clip that grommet back in there, and that's how you get the cables down to the central point for the motor and the LED light. Okay, so once you remove the old side steps, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 10mm bolts on those brackets. Pull them off and you can mount the new assembly brackets, 3 of. I've separated them apart so it's easier to fit. Now it's a bit tricky fitting these. You reuse the 10mm, 25mm bolts, and some of the bolts you have to pull out that grommet just up there, which I'll show you. So you pull that grommet out there, which is right there. Then there is a custom T-bolt like that, which slots into that hole there and locks in. And I'll light that up so you can see. And that goes on there like that. Now there is a little clamp washer that goes over that, and you reuse the other 10mm bolts which are there and there. Okay, we're 3/4 of the way through the job. It's not too hard, a little bit tricky. Just a hot tip for this one, with these T-bolts, so you get that tab facing upwards, we've used the Nico and put a little black arrow mark so you can see what way is that seated without it spinning in that grommet hole. Then we're going to seal them up at the end with some silicone or Sikaflex or something like that. And there's the power feeds there. There's an LED feed for the lighting and there's a power feed for the motor. The motor mount is in the middle. There's a normal bracket on the front and one on the rear. It's a hot tip for these T-bolts. We put that arrow on there to get the positioning right. But also they need another U-bolt washer on the inside of that. So here's one I prepared earlier. Now I've put some black tape on it to keep it locked in there like that so it doesn't fall off. And that's going to go in that sill hole there with the washer internally taped on like that. And then another U washer on the front side. So that's it, sort of sitting there with the washer on the inside, have the T-bolt facing upright, and then that's one we're about to assemble now, the washer on the outside. So 2 washers, one on the inside, one on the outside, to clamp onto the bolt. Okay, we have the side steps mocked up, loosely in place. We've kept all these mounting brackets loose so you can slide them forward, back and forward 5mm to get the adjustment right. And then we do have these bolts that mount right there into the bracket. They're an Allen key, there's 6 of. There, and there, and then we'll tighten everything up once fitment's good. There is little brackets there and there for this cable. That's for the LED strip. You clip them into the harness there and plug it in there. And that's the motor, and that's powered up and clicked in just there. Okay, success. We've got all the trim back in. Kicks are on. New power boards are on. Okay, let's test these out. There we go. And then we'll shut the door. Perfect. Good V8. So overall, wrap up the ClearView power boards for the 79 series. Pretty good fitment, good quality kit, good parts. We did have to change the 25mm bolts to the 40mm gal bolts they provided, and with the brackets we left them loose just to get the alignment right. Bit of messing around with that. We only had one issue. He's got a custom exhaust. I think it's a side exit ignite massive 4-inch pipe out the side. It was clashing with the passenger side kickboard, so he's got to take that off over the next few days and just trim 1 inch off that for correct fitment. So once he gets that done, I'll get some more videos, obviously at night time with the lights and some more content. So yeah, let me know if you guys want more content on the 79 series. But overall, we're both happy with the kit and the install and the outcome of the job. It was a brilliant product and it looks great. Getting rid of that old aluminium crappy kickboards to this black motorized electronic LED side steps is much better. Huge upgrade, and we're both stoked. Also, let me know if you want any more content on the 79 series. Rick is a good friend of mine, so we can do more custom videos on that 24 facelift 79 series. Please like and subscribe.